What's up? Um, so last night I prayed. First of all, I want to say I know like a lot of people have not seen me make videos in a while. That's only because I have been trying to give the rest of my dreams, but I was told to be still. So I was doing my best to be obedient. And last night I prayed and I asked God if He can wake me up out of my sleep and tell me to make a video. And if I did not wake up, then it was just not meant for me to say anything. But around, I want to say 2:22 or 2 o'clock, around sometime early in the morning, I snapped out of my sleep and I just hear make the video. And I was like, God, make the video of my dreams. And I didn't get really the yes, but I just got to make the video and then I fell back asleep. And then, like, I want to say the 30th of September, I was asleep. And sorry, that was my phone. I was asleep and then I woke up and threw my arm around my wife and I said, something's going to happen. And I fell back asleep. And she said, when she looked at me, she seen I was in a complete sleep. Like she doesn't even know if I was sleep talking or anything. And I don't remember waking up doing any of that, but that's what she told me. So without further more, I'm going to get into my dreams. I wrote them down, the ones that I have to share. The first one is called, and I will explain all of these as I go along. So please just be patient and yeah. But before I do get into it, negativity, it's not the deal. There's no reason to be negative. If you feel like this message is not for you, keep going because not every message is meant for everybody. But I feel like these messages are meant for someone. Um, what else? Hold on. Oh, the scripture I want to give you guys just whenever you guys are feeling judgmental or saying anything negative, just remember Matthew 7, verse 1 through 6. And if you don't know what it is, go ahead and go read it. Okay, so the first dream, I titled it The Beginning Dream. This dream started off out of the ordinary, and it was about my dad and the rapture. It was a normal day, and I received a call about my dad being released from prison, and I was excited about my dad getting out because he has been locked up since I was 5 months old. But despite him not being with me, he has always called. And as I approached the house where my family was having his welcome home party, my spirit began to feel a close feeling like something was going to happen. But the party was not immediately after he was released, maybe like a few days, maybe a few months or weeks, um, at an old house where my grandfather had passed away at. But as I began to walk inside, the feeling of closeness grew stronger. And when my family and I walked toward the living room, I seen my entire family, my grandma, my mom, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, and my dad. Then a bright light filled the room, and before I woke up, the last thing I said was, I thought we had more time. And okay, let me let me go ahead and say the dream about my dad getting out seemed out of the ordinary to me because I've never had a dream about my dad. And after 28 years, uh, a little while ago, after 28 years, he's out of prison. And since he's gotten out, I have thought about this dream a lot. And I don't really know when, like Jesus said, nobody knows the day nor the hour, but only the Heavenly Father knows. So I'm not here to say, oh, it's this day or that day. Not here to say all that. I'm just here to tell you, like, he gave me that dream about my dad getting out and the rapture, and my dad is now out of prison. So there's that one. Now, some of these dreams I did make a video on previously. It was my 2 dream video. But those were the 2 dreams that I was allowed to give at that moment in that point in time. But now, yeah. The second dream, this dream came to me February 4th, 2023. And this one is The Demons Rising Out of the Pit, Part 1. The dream started off scary. My wife and I were trapped in a house, and it was dark, like no light at all. And eventually I found my way out and realized that my wife was not behind me. So I went back in the house and found her and brought her to the light. And we ran and made it to the police station. And I seen this cop who was at the house and helped, but he disappeared. And as I seen him at the police station, but he was arrested. And I was trying to tell the cops about the dark house and they would not listen. So I asked the cop to tell them what he's seen and experienced too. But he told me to keep it to myself because otherwise they would arrest me too. So I found a phone and grabbed my wife's hand and found an exit to the roof. And when I began to make a call, the sky turned a greenish yellow, and the same door we climbed out opened suddenly, and I heard screeching and saw demons flying out. And as the last demon rose out of the pit, the door slammed shut, and I woke up. Don't know what that was about. I feel like the dark house was God telling me that me and my wife were still trapped in sin, and if we did not get out, that it would be pretty much that pretty much that's where we were going to stay, was just dead in our sin or stay in the dark. And then 11 days after that, we got married from that dream. And then here is The Demons Rising Out of the Pit, Part 2. I had a spiritual warfare experience, and I'll give that one after all this. But The Demons Rising Out of the Pit, Part 2. I had just moved to what looks like Colorado, and now I live in Colorado. And before I was living in California, and now I live in Colorado. So that just let me know. And I've never been to Colorado a day in my life, except for when I landed at the airport and I only seen, I only seen the mountains and everything at the airport. And so it's going to get even a little crazier. And when I got there, people gave me nasty looks as if I did something wrong, and I brushed off the arrogant look. It then turns to later in the day, and my mom, sister, and my family and myself were at what seemed like a town gathering, and the people were still giving the arrogant looks and scoffing at me as if I was the scum of the earth. And in one of Mandy's videos, she mentioned drones were to come. And in my dream, it was a drone that kind of looked like a UFO and shot what looked like a meteor in the street. And all of a sudden I seen fire and heard screeching. And as I'm running, I then realized, wait, that sounds like the sound of the demon screeching from my from an old dream. But this time I didn't see them flying out of the pit, but I heard them. And when the fire and screeching stopped, the people around me started turning, like people on, I don't want to say The Walking Dead. I did say it in my last video, but it wasn't really like The Walking Dead. They turned like the people on the movie Legion. And if you guys have seen the movie Legion, then you guys will know, hey, like, yeah. Where is it? Oh. And then I started trying to get people to go home and stay inside. And as I was in the house, within the blink of an eye, I was outside trying to save a family trapped in a car. And as I was at the car, I seen the possessed people emerge from a dark tunnel. And somehow I was at the car, in the car, and the possessed person, the demon, was looking me face to face, screeching, but he was afraid he was afraid to bite, touch, or even harm me in any way. What reason? I honestly don't know. But then I got the family out of the car, and the dad of the family got bit and turned right in front of me. So I was trying to lead his family away from him so they didn't get bit. I'm so sorry. Like, I forgot my phone is on loud. Um, Only because, got to be alert whenever anything happens. Hold on. I lost my place. Okay, I was trying to lead the family away, and so they didn't get bit. And we ended up in a office building. Now, the office building I seen in my dream, literally the office building I seen in my dream, I live right down the street from the building that I seen in my dream, and the building is called Pinnacle. I haven't looked up any definitions. I just noticed that the dream, there was an office building that had a lot of windows, and I led the family to, I not just the family, I led all the people that I had with me to that building. And yeah, it was pretty, it kind of gets a little more intense. I ended up in a office building, and as the demon possessed people were surrounding the group of people I saved and was protecting, I said, "Let's go out that door." And as soon as I got everyone outside, a bright light flashed on the people and myself, and I woke up. But it was like in the dream, the demon people could not see me except for that time I was in the car and he was looking face to face with me. Now, this dream, I feel like this dream kind of relates to other stuff that other videos that Mandy and Jesus Saves have made. I can't really remember the words that Jesus Saves said, but I believe she said one of the planets would be at her feet. It was either the moon or Mercury would be at her feet. And what was it? September 30th, I woke up and on my phone, out of the ordinary, I turn on my phone so I can get ready for work and everything. And I look at the numbers on my phone and they're rainbows. So I thought like maybe, hey, my eyes are just still trying to adjust and wake up. But the next day, my wife said she woke up and her phone showed the same rainbow numbers. So it was like not really a coincidence. It just kind of just popped out there. And Mandy said in one of her videos, keep looking up at the moon for you will see a halo around it. And September 30th, when I went outside after seeing the rainbow numbers leaving to work, I look up at the moon. I see the stars are kind of brighter than normally. And I look up at the moon and it's pretty bright. And I see a halo around it. I don't know if anybody's seen it. My mom said she's seen it. My aunt said she's seen it. So it kind of, started ringing a bell. And actually, just that night on September 30th or early that morning, that's when I woke up out of my sleep, threw my arm around my wife and said, "Something's coming," and just chopped and fell back asleep. So don't know it's coming. I just know I was woken up and told something's coming, and I let her know as well. And somehow I don't remember doing that. But this other dream, the man with the new moon over his head, and it was a new moon on September 30th. And then another part in my dream was there was a turtle outside of her shell, and I do have a uh, a tortoise named Sarah, but this wasn't Sarah outside of her shell. This was like a whole different turtle outside of her shell. And so a man with a new moon over his head was talking to me, and he was extremely loving and humble. His smile made my spirit bright, and I could not really see his face. I'm not going to say really, I could not see his face at all. But I noticed the new moon over his head. But as he spoke to me, he turned to talk to someone else. But when I turned to see who it was, to see who he was speaking to, there was no one next to me. But I could feel there was someone else there with myself and the man with the new moon over his head. The turtle out of her shell. I'm in my living room and I noticed a turtle was not in her enclosure, and seeing she was on the counter, which was odd because I don't ever put my turtle on the counter. I put her on the ground so she can crawl around and explore around because she likes to explore. Um, and for those who don't know, turtles can move fast. It's not too fast, but it's fast. And but something was on the top of her shell, and I touched her shell, and the shell crumbled. And as I was about to throw the shell away, I seen it was a turtle that seemed familiar out of her shell. And I grabbed her, and she looked at me, and then I placed her in a tank and seen there was a baby tortoise in there. And now there were frogs everywhere. I gathered all the frogs I could find and placed them in a bottle. But one frog poked out. It was pink with black spots and multiple pupils. And as I closed the top, so I didn't touch the pink frog thinking it was poisonous, and that kind of was the end of that one. Okay. I did not write those down, so it must not have been meant for me to write those down. But so far, those were all my dreams that I've had. Starts off as the beginning dream, the demons rising out of the pit part 1, the demons rising out of the pit part 2, and the man with the new moon over his head, and the turtle out of her shell. So these were my dreams. Again, these are probably not for a lot of people, but they might be for some. So, like I do, allow your spirit to take what is for you and to disregard what is not. But yeah, that was it. I hope you guys have an awesome, amazing, fantastic day. Today is October 4th. I know a lot of people have panicked for that day. I haven't really panicked, but I've just been on high alert, high guard, just in case anything does happen. But yeah, I just hope you guys have a wonderful, loving, honest, and fantastic day. And any other dreams I have, if I do pray about it and let it be known, I will make a video and let you guys know. But yeah, thank you.